scroller. Call the money junkie, we done got the conversation roller. Hit up Blue and ask him which one his parlay's going. Call a couple hours later asking for another one. Why? This one just hit. This shit just hit. The ConvoJunkies came to talk their shit. Just go out there and talk your shit. This shit just hit. I hit the 10X too. The ConvoJunkies came to talk their shit. You go out there and talk your shit. If you need stats on last week game, to tune into my dogs. We having conversation about anything involving ball. See, when it come to football, past the days, we love the Steelers. And when it come to analytics, Bruno Wallace better. Strapping up my cleats, I'm on the field, but still won't cruise my tennis. Compare the new cats to the OGs, damn, he run like.
Hey y'all, welcome in to Conversation Junkies, man. Back again. It's your boy Blue.
It's your boy Mitch.
And we appreciate y'all for joining us in on another episode of Conversation Junkies. We appreciate y'all for, the patience of coming in with this new video, still figuring stuff out, still trying to, work our way.
Just a slight little hiatus.
Slight little hiatus. We got to
try to get their life together.
Yeah.
Leave these hoes alone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I had to take a little off season. We'll leave it at that. But with that being said, we appreciate y'all for coming in and, giving us some of y'all time. With that being said, we ask that y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Any support helps. And with that being said, let's get into the video. So today we doing our, pre-draft video.
This our mock 1.0, 2.0, and
3.0 draft. We going to give you our top 10 picks. Give our thoughts on them and, just roll out from there. So with that being further ado, Mitch, let's get your 2026 NFL mock draft.
Of course, to go ahead and start it off, we pretty much know who's going to be the number one pick.
Yeah.
We got Fernando Mendoza going to the Las Vegas Raiders. Honestly, I'm not gonna say it's a perfect situation for him, but it's a building situation. It's a good situation. You know what I'm saying? They just signed a veteran quarterback and Kirk Cousins. You know what I'm saying? Come in there, he probably gonna
let him start
starting reps to begin with. But I feel like eventually, probably about halfway point of the season, Mendoza's gonna be able to get in there, show us what he can do. So we know that's gonna be the number one overall pick. Now from there, I feel like things get you could go either way with a couple things because, of course, we got the Jets with the second overall pick, and I know a lot of people want Arvo Reese going to the Jets, but
that's where I got him. I got him with my number 2 pick.
I think David Bailey gonna let over number 2.
Okay. Me personally, I feel like David Bailey, I was decisive in mine. I was giving it between David Bailey.
Yeah, it was definitely between them two.
Yeah, between those two for the number 2 pick. But I chose Arvell Reese more because he has a bigger upside.
Yeah.
And with that being said, I feel like the Jets need a lot of high-end quality talent where they at. And, they also have another pick in the first round. And with that being said, I just think they need a lot of quality players, so they just gonna go with what's the best available to them. And Aaron Glenn being the defensive coordinator, I feel like he'll find a comfortable spot for either David Bailey or Arvell Reese. So you couldn't really go wrong either way.
Reese just reminds me a lot of Chase Young.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And a high upside guy. You know what I'm saying? But he had a great, rookie season, but besides that,
I see that. I see what you're saying. The motor, yeah.
You feel me? But I think David Bailey just got a little bit more want to him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I feel like, they might take my number 2. Of course, number 3, if I'm going David Bailey there, I got to go Arvell Reese right here.
Right. And I literally have my in reverse, David Bailey going number 3.
And then this where things could get a little dicey, but I do have Jeremiah Love going number 4.
Okay. That's not a crazy. I've been seeing that in a lot of mock drafts. Jeremiah going to 4. Okay. For me at number 4, I had Cardinal Tate.
I'm not mad at that either.
Just giving Cam Ward another weapon, either or Jeremiah Love or Cardinal Tate. You seen that he gave you a little bit of glimpse of promise last year. I feel like he'll just need another weapon to help him along with his progress. And we seen what the new head coach Robert Saleh can do on the defense. And we saw the things that they added in the offseason, and I'm sure they're going to add more in the years to come. But either or Jeremiah Love or Cardinal Tate,
they need an offensive weapon.
For sure.
At number 5 for me is out of 2 players, and they both go to the same school. is either Caleb Downs or Sonny Styles. So I'm gonna. I think safety is not a as important position in the draft necessarily, and to have a linebacker like Sonny Styles out there just sitting there, I'm probably going to have to go Sonny Styles right there.
I got him at my 5.
You got 5?
I literally got him at my 5. So hey, our mock drafts is looking pretty similar so far.
Yeah.
For the same reasons you said, I feel like with John Harbaugh there, you know, along with the trade that we're going to talk about later, I feel like this first pick is definitely more of the staple pick for him and for that defense. So who you got going number 6 to the Cleveland Browns?
Number 6, that's where I have Cardinal take on.
Okay.
You know what I mean? They still got Judy over there.
Yeah, they do need some wide receiver.
They got Isaiah Bond, you know what I'm saying? But besides that, they ain't really got no they really don't have no solidified weapon on offense right now.
Jerry 2, 3 at best, man. The drops he had last year, most of the season,
atrocious.
Yeah,
I have Cardinal take on at number 6.
Okay, not a bad pick. For me, at my number 6, I had Francis Mawinoa, the offensive tackle out of Miami, and for me, it was just I do feel like either way, they also have 2 first-round picks in the first round. Maybe we'll see what they do later. But that offensive line for them was terrible last year. Like, it didn't matter what quarterback they have and what quarterback they're going to have. You're not going to be able to see any progress if you can't protect the quarterback. So no matter who it is, I just felt like this was a good spot for our first tackle to be taken. But I did consider Cardinal Tate going here, though. I did, but I just figured that Tennessee would have probably got some first.
Yeah, I feel you on that. Good. Hey, there's 2 teams that need
the offensive help. Yeah, I completely agree.
At number 7 for Washington Commanders.
Yeah,
I about to say football team.
Nah, I get it.
I have Caleb Downs going here.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying? They need help on the back end.
Right.
They need help on that whole defense. I think last year they had the oldest defense in the league. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like they need to kind of revamp a little bit back in, you know what I'm saying? Caleb Downs, generational, prospect, all around great player. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he fell this low, and it's not even a low fall, but he just fell this low because, like I was saying earlier, safety is not a
high-end position.
You feel me?
Nah, I got you. At my number 7, I have Mansour Delaney going here. The best cornerback off the draft. For me, I felt like with that defense being older, they needed help everywhere. I'll let that just be said. We know Jaden McDaniels, he'll probably need some help on the offensive end, but they got Terry McLaurin, they got a nice little running back room, but they need to revamp that defense, go ahead and get them younger. I felt like they had a lot of want on that back end last year. And I just felt like this was a good spot for, that defensive-minded head coach to go ahead and take the best cornerback off the board.
At the number 8 pick, I have Jordan Tyson.
Okay.
I feel like the Saints, of course, they traded
Rashid Shaheed
last year, you know what I'm saying, to the Seahawks.
And the Super Bowl.
You feel me?
Yeah, he definitely made an impact.
Made an impact for sure. And right now, they just don't have besides Chris Olave, and I'm kind of, not scared for his career because I don't know, he get one more concussion.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Looking too good, fam.
But I feel like go ahead and get, a second option out there when you lose one of the best, return men, a great slot receiver option, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and get you a guy. You could plug him in outside, you can plug him in inside, you can plug him in anywhere, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like he's a great pickup.
Okay.
Right there.
Okay. At my number 8 pick, this is where I have Jeremiah Love going.
Okay.
For similar reasons to what you said, I do agree. Chris Olave, the injuries and things of that nature. Alvin Kamara, getting a little bit older. I know they signed another. ETN.
Yep.
I know they got ETN in the backfield, but I just think with the firepower that Jeremiah Love brings, both being a running back and he can also play receiver.
Yeah,
he runs routes just like everybody else. So, just with that weapon, adding the Tyler Shuck second year, seeing what he can do, I just felt like that was more of a better piece and fit for what this offense might want to do. But either or, I feel like we kind of got a similar mindset.
Yeah,
these
for
drafts
sure.
is going. Definitely.
Yeah. Number
Chiefs.
9, going to your Chiefs.
Yes, sir.
I do have Ruben Bain.
Okay.
Out of Miami. I feel like Y'all edges are not bad. Karlaftis, not bad. Leo Chanel,
I agree. We need the pressure. It's not a crazy pick. I almost was thinking Ruben Bain was going here. I almost put him in my draft right here.
But yeah, that's where I got him going. And honestly, y'all really just need a couple pieces on that defense. Y'all be back. I mean, of course, you still got to back my own situation.
Yeah, I get it. But I feel like the way they building it, they kind of trying to
build
it to sustain until Pat gets back, and then maybe it'll put him over the top. I don't know, but that's where we at with it.
Take shot.
For me, at my number 9 spot, I have Caleb Downs falling here. Like you said, it may have been more of a fall, give or take, but just because
of the position.
But I feel like, with all the back end help that they had, and they might get cornerbacks later in the draft. The Chiefs for getting quarterbacks later on and making them good. But I feel like this was a good spot for Steve Spagnuolo to have a safety and, like you said, just be able to revamp that defense. They got another first round pick, so I think that they might get another rusher later on. But they got a lot of spots to fill on that back end.
At number 10, which is New York's second pick.
Yes, sir.
I have them replacing Dexter Lawrence, and I got them going with Peter Woods from Clemson. You know what I'm saying? He showed that he can not only get to the quarterback, in pass rush situations, which that's pretty rare for
my fault. Go ahead and talk.
That's pretty rare for a D tackle to do, in college or, in the big leagues as well. They just go ahead and replace Dexter Lawrence, you know what I'm saying? Get that going.
My bad, y'all. Sorry about that. My dog got a little loud. But for me, at my number 10 spot, this is where I have Monroe Freeland going, the offensive tackle out of Georgia. I feel like with this being their second pick off the board, already getting Sonny Styles like we both mentioned earlier, I felt like this was more of a Jackson Dart pick. More of, like I said, with other go ahead and secure your investment. You know what I'm saying? You can have all these weapons, you can have the best, but if you can't protect your quarterback, there's no point. So, and we know kind of the Harbaugh style of, coming there, we see the same thing that his brother did, stacking up the O-line, making sure it's good and able to secure. Same way with like Justin Herbert. If as soon as his tackles went down, it was over with for him. So I just think this is more of a a Harbaugh type of pick, in my opinion. But that's both of our mock drafts. Y'all let us know how y'all feel about them in the comments or, whatever social media we put it on. With that being said, we did just talk about the New York Giants number 10 overall pick. So with that being said, how do you feel about the New York Giants trade for Dexter Lawrence to the Cincinnati Bengals for their number 10 overall pick?
Honestly, it's a little unorthodox. Trading a top 10, a first round pick, let alone a top 10 pick for a veteran D tackle. I don't think I've ever seen that. You know what I'm saying? It's usually a skill position. No offense to the big guys, but it's usually a skill position that has the luxury to do stuff like that. But for the Bengals, it was a great pickup. You know what I'm saying? They needed help. They needed help everywhere on that defense. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead and get the interior, squared away. You know what I'm saying? And you got decent edge rushers. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, if you can't stop the run and clog the middle, you know what I'm saying? The edge is not going too much for you. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like it was a great pickup for them. Anytime you can get a great veteran player, you want
it's going to help on that defense.
And like I said, with my mock pick, they immediately go ahead and replace Dexter Lawrence with Peter Woods. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's a win-win for everybody in this situation. Just unorthodox. We don't usually see something
like that. Last time we seen a player going into his, I want to say 30s, contract to that magnitude for a pick that high was Randy Moss. And that didn't even succeed for him in, where you go, Las Vegas, if I'm not mistaken. But for me, I definitely feel like New York Giants got the better end of this trade. Wanting to get younger, wanting to get more of a hard ball, hard mentality style team on their side, so they just want to get younger and be able to have availability. And then on the Cincinnati Bengals end, I do feel like they kind of gave up a little bit of a high pick. You know, for me,
Yeah,
I would have probably did a second and I don't know, or try to figure it out that way. A top 10 pick was just a little rich for me, but I feel like both teams got the better end of this deal. Well, the Giants got the better end of the deal, but it worked out for both teams. Next, we're gonna jump into all of our teams with 2 overall picks in their first rounds. We're just gonna jump into them, kind of see what kind of their needs is in the draft. First, since we already did the New York Giants because they had 2 top 10 picks. Our next team we're gonna do is also in New York. We got the Jets with the number 2 overall pick, who we already said was I said David Reese. Yeah, David Bailey. So next we're gonna go with the New York Jets number 16 overall pick, or what need we think you got for them.
They have a need everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So I believe that they should go ahead pick one offense, one defense. So of course with their first pick, they got an edge rusher. We're just gonna say it's one of them. And then with their second pick, I think they should draft Omar Cooper Jr.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like he would pair well with Garrett Wilson since they won't let him go. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, they have similar play styles, you know what I'm saying? So just Omar being able to come in and get to work immediately, I think that'd be a good, pickup for them boys.
I do agree with you. They definitely need help everywhere. So it's really not anywhere they can go bad. With this being kind of it's not really a heavy draft, but it is a draft with positions that you might need a lot of. I feel like they'll just stack up more on positions of value more than anything else. So with me, I got them taking an offensive tackle, Caden Proctor out of Alabama.
Okay.
Just another staple piece. We didn't really trust their tackles last year, no matter who the quarterback was. Saying they got a defensive piece already, so I just went offense with it. Our second team, we got the Cleveland Browns with a number 6 overall pick. You said yours was Cardinal Tate. Mine was the offensive tackle, Francis. I wouldn't know. Yeah, okay, making sure. With the number 24 pick, what you think they gonna go, or where you think they?
I think they're gonna go ahead and double dip at the receiver position because they obviously need help there. You know what I'm saying? On the whole offense, to be honest. So I have them taking KC Concepcion out of Texas A&M. And he just he a smooth receiver to me. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like he'll be able to come in, maybe not start immediately, but I feel like eventually he'll get in there and just show people why they should draft him.
Right, should draft him. I feel that. Here I have the safety. I have him going safety. Dylan Tinneman out of Oregon. Yeah, Tinneman out of Oregon. I know it's kind of maybe a kind of a fall film, depending on where you got him in some drafts. But I feel like with just a lot of the other teams where they at, with the Browns, they want to be younger. I know they still need offensive help for Shedeur Sanders or whoever they have at quarterback.
I still think it's gonna be Deshaun Watson.
With the money they paying them, I wouldn't be surprised. But I feel like they'll probably get some offensive help in other ways outside of the first round, like outside of like wide receiver, first talent. That's just me though.
Okay.
We got the Kansas City Chiefs with their second first round pick, the number 29 pick, which we know that they got from the Rams trade, getting Trent McDuffie. So who do you have going, or what do you think is a need that you could see them picking here?
Like you were saying earlier, and you hit it right on the head too. They do need help at corner as well. You know what I'm saying? So I have Colton Hood from Tennessee going to Kansas City.
29, okay. Not a bad pick. Me personally, like I said, defense, they need a lot of help all around the defense, from edge to cornerback with replacing both of theirs going to the Los Angeles Rams. Me personally, realistically, I do see them trading away this pick on draft night.
Up or down?
I feel trading for a player.
Oh, okay.
That's
Who you think? Or do you have a player in mind? Or
personally,
you think they're gonna pick up another corner or corner to replace?
I think a scenario that I see is Brian Thomas Jr. for that late first and a third.
Ooh. You
Maybe.
think he worked for first still?
A late first or 29? I mean, he's only had 2 years out, and I think with that top production, I mean, maybe.
Only he just had a little bit of a down season.
But
It was his second season though.
But it's a late, you know what I'm saying? It's a late round pick. That was just like a scenario that I saw making sense. But if I had to pick for a player at this position, it would be Keldrick for Auburn.
Okay.
It was a draft kind of being all over the place as far as positions of value. I just kind of got mine mapped out a little differently. But with that being said, we got the Miami Dolphins with the number 11 and the number 30 pick. You ain't really got to, because I know they got a lot of needs all over this place. But what more side are you leaning on? Like, where you think they heading in this draft?
O-line, for sure. Right now, they got a slightly proven but really unproven quarterback back there, so you might well find a way to protect bro at all costs. You know what I'm saying? They just paid him a decent little contract. I forgot the exact numbers, but I know it was like a 2-year or 3-year deal or something like that. No, I think it was just a 2-year deal. But yeah, they need to go ahead and find some protectors for that man. So at the number 11 picks, I do have Francis.
My goal, however you say it.
I know
how
you say his name.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do have him going at the number 11 pick.
Okay. For me, at my number 11 pick, I had the offensive guard out of Pennsylvania. I don't even want to butcher it. It's like Oglaviga.
Oh, yeah.
Personally, I think
I think he's like the projected best
ranked guard out of the draft. And agree with you. I feel like they got positions in need everywhere, so you might as well go get a best available and something that could be a cornerstone for whatever kind of team you gotta trying to get an identity for, but it always starts in the trenches.
Absolutely.
So I feel like at this point you don't even really need no luxury picks. You just need talent at this point.
And they don't need a luxury pick because they got another
first round pick.
Which there, I feel like, okay, now we can get a little skill position with whoever left out of the what we got. So I have Denzel Boston out of Washington.
Okay. That's a great pick.
Third pick.
By the time I got to this point, it was a lot of all over the place for me. But for the mock draft that I do have right now, I got Akeem Messidor out of Miami. Like I said, just positions of value. Just like you just need staple makers of your team. You know what I mean? With our next team, we got Dallas with the number 12 and the number 20 spots. And I will say that it has been a lot of chirping about them possibly moving up.
And Slick.
I don't think it's a good idea, but that's just me.
If they do happen to move up for something, like if they get in the top 5, I think they're gonna go 70,000.
That's not a crazy call.
Cause they need linebackers.
They do.
You know what I'm saying? They got Overshown, but
he gonna need somebody else.
Yeah,
and I don't even think they picked back up. What was the buddy that came from Cincinnati?
Logan Wilson. Yeah.
Is that just
was he? I don't think they picked him up.
Yeah, exactly. And
I don't know where, bro.
We know they need help all over their front seven, so I wouldn't be surprised at that.
But if they didn't trade up, I think this is where I have Dylan Thieneman go.
Okay. For me, I have them taking the second best corner off the draft board. At this time, I got them going Jamal McCoy out of Tennessee. Definitely know that they need a lot of cornerback help. You know, Deron Bland ain't been the same. Trayvon Diggs ain't back there no more. They definitely improve. I know they front line or they front defensive line, they gonna be good up there. You know, they definitely added Quentin Williams, Rashawn Gary. Overshown has came back and he popped out kind of later on off of that injury. But I feel like this is a spot where they definitely need to attack their cornerback because that's the weakest part of their team. Who you got going to their number 20 spot?
And that's where I have them taking the cornerback for me.
Okay.
Avion Terrell.
Ooh, okay. That's nasty. Okay, I ain't mad at that.
Yeah. That's where I am going. Like you said, they do need help. That is their main position of need. But I feel like if they were to trade up, because I'm not going to say it's a deep cornerback draft, but you got options in the first round.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if they do end up trading up, I do believe that they can get St. Styles.
Right. For me, at the number 20 spot for them, I have C.J. Allen going here out of Georgia.
Okay.
You know, I feel like I said again, they needed a lot of help over their defense, and we definitely seen that last year. I feel like with them getting Jamal McCoy with their number 12 overall pick, this is just something to add with Overshown to be able to, you know, get some youth in there, get some energy the way he plays, you know, fast all over the field. Definitely a field general type of linebacker, and that'll kind of be able to give some juice to that defense. So I think with those first two first round picks, plus whatever they do later on in the draft, that might end up being a different type of Cowboys team next year.
No, for sure. Because really, they problem wasn't the offense.
The problem wasn't offense; it was always the defense. And the way I got it going, if they go somewhere in that route, there'll definitely be a different type of Dallas Cowboy team next year.
For sure.
With that being said, I guess we kind of already on the topic. I think the NFC East is definitely up for grabs next year.
Oh, for sure. It's definitely up in there.
Like, I know the Giants, you know, Harbaugh still got their everything, but if they do this thing right, they could, you know, accidentally slip in the playoffs. That's just what I'm.
And they don't even gotta be the number one team.
They don't.
They can be number 2 in their division.
But with that being said, next week gonna talk about the Philadelphia Eagles and this AJ Brown situation. We definitely seen that they got they added wide receivers in the offseason with, excuse me, I'm drawing a blank, Hollywood Brown and then Dontavian Wicks. We saw that they traded for Dontavian Wicks, and we know now that they have the 23rd pick in the NFL draft. So what kind of is the future that you see with AJ?
Honestly, I think it's probably going to be a mutual party. You know what I'm saying? I think they're going to try to find a team that really needs a receiver. I wish we could have got him on the Steelers, you know what I'm saying? But we already picked up Pittman, you know what I'm saying? So I think they're going to try to find him a team where he can go and get the receptions he wants, and plus adding to an already decent team, you know what I'm saying? Putting him in a spot where he can just go in there, do what he need to do, and, you know, try to win him another chip.
Right. For me, honestly, I feel like they traded him. I definitely agree with your point. You know, there's a lot of controversy all around the place, and, you know, definitely adding the wide receiver depth is always going to be a benefit for any team trying to get another Super Bowl run. But just with the moves we see them making, I feel like that's just a supplement for what they preparing for.
Really, Smitty is wide receiver.
Smitty is wide receiver 1. Now, have we really seen him be a top wide receiver 1? No. But with that, plus the depth that they added, like I said, plus whatever they could add in the draft, or we'll see with that, I think they're doing that to just, if you could get a pool to add up what AJ Brown is leaving, that's enough for them. You know, I feel like if this was saving them the headache. But with that, I do see AJ going to the Patriots. I know they did end up getting Romeo Dobbs, but I just feel like you can't have enough help for your young quarterback, Drake May, just coming off of Super Bowl season. We always know it's going to be hard to
Can't have enough help for your young quarterback, 6th round pick, Will Howard.
With that being said, we appreciate y'all for joining us on this another episode of Conversation Junkies, man.
It's your boy Mitch.
It's your boy Blue. I know I kind of caught him off guard with that. I did it on purpose just because he threw me off with that bullshit he just said. But yeah, for real though. We appreciate y'all. Like I said, we want to get this out just y'all for address. Y'all let us know how y'all feel. Like, comment, and subscribe. And we got more NBA and more other sports, other topics coming for y'all soon. So y'all be tuned. With that being said, peace.
Hit up Blue and ask him which one his parlay's going. Call a couple hours later, asking for another one. Why? This one just hit. This shit just hit. The ConvoJunkies came to talk their shit. Just go out there and talk your shit. This shit just hit. I hit the 10 niggas too. The ConvoJunkies came to talk their shit.